Kovach, the Associate Program Director for the Blue Ridge Music Center. I'd like to welcome you to the discussion series, A Place in the Band, Women in Bluegrass and American Roots Music. This series is part of a project by the Blue Ridge Music Center that began in 2020 to honor the 100th anniversary of women being granted the right to vote. A Place in the Band celebrates the triumphs and explores the struggles faced by women in bluegrass and American roots music. In this discussion series, North Carolina singer-songwriter and social activist Laura Lynn Dossett speaks with women in the music business, including musicians and others involved in music management and promotion roles. Through these conversations, the women share their stories, talking about their role models, mentors, and inspirations, experiences with people they've worked with, issues they've encountered that are specific to women in the industry, changes they've seen over the years, and other parts of their own personal journeys that have helped them to be who they are today. These individual stories show us the collective strength and future possibilities for women in bluegrass and American roots music. I hope you enjoy the series, and thank you for joining us.
Hello, my name is Laura Lynn Dossett. During these series of conversations, we've been careful to include women in the music industry who are not only on stage, but behind the scenes. Surely there's no behind-the-scenes job more important than that of sound engineer, which is why I'm so excited to introduce you to Haley Miller Coots. She works with SE Systems and has been with festivals large and small, including Merlefest, and has been on the road for years with major bluegrass and American roots music artists. There's probably not a part of the industry that remains such a man's world as sound engineering, and Haley has a lot to say about that. She also has high hopes for women in our industry. Here's Haley Miller Coots.
I know some women sound engineers over the years that I've encountered, but it's still fairly unusual.
Yes, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I've heard that a lot when I started back in, oh gosh, I don't even know what year it was, but 17 or 18 years ago. I would hear all the time, "You're the first audio girl that I've ever seen." Girls tend to go into lighting and and do lighting, and so I know a handful of girls now that are really good engineers, and but I mean I've been across the country, and I still only know a handful of girls that are, in the field. So.
Right. Do you experience any barriers from being a woman? I mean, what do you think keeps young women from choosing it? Because it's so fun.
Women typically if they go into audio, they go into studio audio.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard being, it's not just about doing and mixing a show, or it's from the very beginning when you do that load in, you're dumping trucks and you're setting up the rig, and then, it's very involved, and sometimes it can be a 23-hour day.
Mm-hmm.
It's not for everybody. I mean, it is fun, but it is very, very, very hard work, and it will run you into the ground sometimes, just having to do things back to back to back to back. But it's definitely acquired taste for some people.
Sure.
So,
do you have stories about, showing up at a gig and they're like, "Who are you, little lady?" Or
yes, I actually got kicked out of brought in a stage for Dave Matthews Band, and they kicked me out because they thought I was a crew member's girlfriend.
No.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Everybody, when people heard that, I mean, they were so angry. and I was like, okay, I was so new at the time. I was maybe 2 years in to doing this. And I didn't know enough at that point to stand up for myself. And I do now. I mean, it's just, it's not that I stand up for myself, but I'm so, I don't know, hardened or used to the barriers that everybody runs to at this point in time. And I don't let it get to me. I just tell them very nicely, "I'm sorry, but, this is our gear, and I'm staying with our gear." So, But other than that, I mean, there are barriers sometimes, but ultimately, I find that if you go in with just a professional, I know what I'm doing. I've been doing it for a really long time. People sense that,
Right.
and they tend to, not question anything. Everybody just rolls with it, and we go on with the show. So.
Well, it sounds like some of that, maybe some of that training you had also that, you can, I mean, obviously you're a lovely, nice person, but you also can walk into a room and take charge,
Yeah, yeah.
and that might, that's not, I'm not going to speak for everyone, but of my generation, I'm quite a bit older than you, to be taught how to be in charge, particularly of a group of men,
Right.
was not something I was taught to do. So it does take a little, even for us, it takes a little getting over that
Sure.
initial. Yeah.
Sure.
Wow.
Sure. Yeah. I think military background had a lot to do with that because you were judged on the base of your rank, not the base of your gender. And so I think that broke those barriers for me for looking at it like that. And
Yeah.
I don't look at it like that